Hi, my name's Sarah. I'm an energy healing and Akashic Records teacher and practitioner, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So I've created this channel to share information, advice, tips that will help you along your spiritual journey. So when I first started thinking about creating this channel, I was thinking back to the beginning of my spiritual journey and the types of information that I was looking for. So the purpose of this channel is for me to share everything that I've learned with you since I've been on my journey, in hope that it will help guide you along yours. And I thought, what better place to start than with the energy body and understanding the chakra system. So today's video we're going to be delving into what the energy body is, understanding the different layers of the energy body, and I'm going to give a quick overview of each of the chakras and what they look like when they're out of balance. So my channel and my business is called Soul Pace. The ethos is all about living in alignment with the soul's pace. The soul always knows the way, the soul is never in a rush. The soul knows exactly what we need to do at any given moment, and that's what we want to strive to live in alignment with. So the energy body is multi-dimensional, it's very complex. Every session I do, whether it's energy healing, Akashic Records reading or Akashic Records clearing, my understanding of the energy body is always growing, changing, expanding. There's always going to be more stuff for us to learn. As we go along the journey, our understanding is always going to deepen as we go along our journey. So the first thing I think is important to understand is fundamentally we are so much more than the physical body. At our core, we are energy. We are all individual fractals of source consciousness that have incarnated into a physical form to have a human experience. And the whole purpose of the human experience is for the soul's growth and evolution. One of the best ways in which I've heard this be described is that we are all little parts of the same big soul that belongs to everybody. So the energy body is made up of 7 layers. In the Akashic Records, this is referred to as the light grid. You might also hear it be referred to as the energy field or the light body, but it's essentially all talking about the same thing. So we have 7 layers within our energy body, within our light grid. And our energy body is what produces the physical body. So the physical body is a manifestation of the energy body. It is not the other way around. So it's not the physical body that produces the energy field. It's the energy field that produces the physical body. So the 7 layers that make up the energy body are the etheric body, which is connected to the root chakra, the emotional body, which is connected to the sacral chakra, the mental body, which is connected to the solar plexus chakra, the astral body, which is connected to the heart chakra, the etheric template, which is connected to the throat chakra, the celestial template, which is connected to the third eye chakra, and the causal body, which is connected to our crown chakra. And each of the chakras, the main 7 chakras that sit within the physical body, provide a snapshot of what is going on in the corresponding layer of the energy field. So whatever we've got going on in our energy field, in our internal state, creates the lens and the filter in which we view the world, in which we have our experiences and we move through life. And this is where you will hear phrases such as, if you change your energy, you can change your life. And this is because by changing our energy, changing our internal state, we change the filter in which we view the world, and we change the experiences that we draw towards us based on what we've got going on internally. And there's a famous quote by Carl Jung that states, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. And how I understand this is the unconscious, the subconscious, is the things that are in our energy field that we are unaware of, that drive how we operate. And until we become aware of what is going on energetically and how that is driving us, it will dictate our lives, and we will call it fate. And this is why understanding what is going on in your energy body and how it's driving how you operate is essential to understanding your energy body and also reclaiming your power and being able to become a co-creator with the universe. So if you want to start working with your energy body, the best place to start is working with the 7 main chakras. Now, depending on which system you work with, there are 114 or 112 chakras, but the main ones you need to know about when you're new to working with your energy body are the 7 main chakras that sit within the physical body, and they run from the base of the spine up to the crown of the head. And what I'm going to do throughout this video is just give you a brief overview of each one of the chakras, what they represent and what they look like when they are overactive and underactive. So in really simple terms, our chakra system is essentially a bioenergetic structure in which our life force flows through. So depending on how well our life force is flowing through our chakra system determines our emotional, mental, physical and spiritual well-being. And what happens when we go through life, when we experience emotions or traumas and we don't process them, it can cause energetic stagnation, and this energetic stagnation then becomes kind of wedged in the chakras, and it hinders how well that life force energy can flow through each one of the chakras and the system as a whole. So the energetic stagnation that we accumulate can cause the chakras to become overactive or underactive. Overactive means it's got too much life force running through it, and underactive means it hasn't got enough life force running through it. Chakras can actually be overactive and underactive at the same time, but a chakra can never be blocked. So you might see this a lot online, people talking about blocked chakras, blocked chakras. If your chakras were blocked, you would be dead, because energy is always moving. So life force is never not going to be moving through the chakras. It might be moving too slowly or too quickly, but it is never blocked. It is never not moving. It's just stagnant and a bit slow or a bit too quick. And the chakra system works together as a whole. So how I like to picture it is cogs that are all connected to each other, and when they're all nice and in flow and in balance, all the cogs are turning at the same time, same speed, same direction. But what can happen if one of the cogs in the system starts to go a bit haywire, so it starts to spin a bit too quickly or starts to slow down, it then affects how well all the other cogs in the system are turning. This is why, from my point of view, it's good to work with the system as a whole. Like, we want to work individually with each chakra, but it's important to understand that it forms, that they're all working together as part of a wider system. So starting at the base of the spine, we have the root chakra. This is in the coccyx area. It is associated with the colour red, and the root chakra represents our foundation, so our safety, security, having our basic needs met. And the main energy that destabilizes the root chakra is fear. When the root chakra is nice and balanced, we feel strong, we feel stable, we know who we are, we feel safe, we've got that connection to Mother Earth, and we are safe and assured that we are supported in life. So when the root chakra is underactive and it doesn't have enough life force energy flowing through it, this can look like feeling very disconnected from the body. We might be very disorganized in day-to-day life, have a lack of focus, be unable to concentrate for sustained periods of time. If it is overactive and it's got too much energy flowing through it, this can look like the excessive need to control everything. We really want to grip on tight, we want to control everything around us. We can't leave the reins go. It can manifest as feelings of anxiety about the future. Physically, the root chakra is connected to the lower back and lower limbs. So any energetic stagnation in the root chakra, any imbalances can manifest as physical issues in these areas. It's important to note at this point that none of the information in this video is to be replaced with professional medical advice. If you've got any physical issues, you need to go and see a medical professional, but it's also useful to understand that there can be an underlying energetic cause behind our physical issues. So in my opinion, when you start to work with the energy body, it is fundamental that you start at the root chakra, because this is our foundation in which we build upon the rest of our energy body. And the way I like to describe it is like a tree. So a tree can only grow as high as its roots are deep. If a tree didn't have deep roots and it tried to grow really high, it would just fall over. It's the same when we're working with our energy body. If we want to reach up into those higher levels of consciousness and connect to our spiritual gifts and abilities and connect to the spiritual realm, we need to have a strong foundation in the root chakra. Our roots need to be strong and deep so they can support the growth and expansion. Because if we don't have strong, deep roots, there's a few things that can happen. We can struggle to get up into the higher frequencies, or the energy can kind of run on a loop in the higher frequencies and we can become really disconnected from the body and reality. We don't want to do that. The spiritual journey is all about balance, so we want to balance the spiritual world with the physical world. So moving on up from the root chakra, then we have the sacral chakra, which is in the lower abdomen or the womb area if you are a woman. So the sacral chakra is associated with the colour orange, and it is our emotional processing centre. It's connected to our ability to feel joy, creativity, inspiration, have fun. It's connected to our sexual energy. And when the energy in this chakra is nice and balanced, we are able to enjoy life, we're able to have fun, find joy, creatively express ourselves, sexually express ourselves. And for women, the sacral is actually an additional intuitive centre, because it very much is what connects us to our divine feminine energy. So as the sacral is our emotional processing centre, any kind of repressed emotions are going to create energetic stagnation in this energy centre. So when the energy in the sacral is underactive, we might struggle to find the joy in life, we might struggle to have fun, we might be quite disconnected from our creative flow, struggle to use our imagination. And it's because it's connected to our sexual energy as well, this can manifest as a low libido or like a rejection to our sexual side. And when the energy in the sacral is overactive, we may find that we are very emotionally reactive. We might have lots of creative ideas, but they might feel very scattered. So you'll really struggle to kind of pin one idea down and bring it through into reality. Overactive sacral chakra can also fuel addictions. And most people to some degree have energetic stagnation in this energy centre. So when the energy in the sacral is nice and balanced, we have that creative flow, we're connected to joy, we're connected to our intuition, inspiration, we're able to healthily process our emotions as they come up and arise within us. And as this is the emotional processing centre, any kind of shadow work or inner child work is going to help with moving stagnant energy within this energy centre. Moving on up, then we have the solar plexus, which physically is in the abdomen. It has a masculine energy and it is associated with the colour yellow. I don't know whether I mentioned it at the beginning of this video. Each one of the chakras has a masculine and feminine energy. So the root chakra is masculine, the sacral is feminine, the solar plexus is a masculine energy again there. And the solar plexus is the home of our personal power and our ego. It's associated with the colour yellow and it is connected to our sense of self, our willpower, our purpose and our place in the world. So when the solar plexus is underactive and it doesn't have enough energy running through it, it can look like low self-confidence, lack of willpower, inability to take action, to bring forward our ideas. We might feel that we don't really fit in, we don't have a purpose, and we can't find our place in the world, and may also be very concerned with how others view us. If it is overactive and it's got too much energy running through it, it can look like being really overconfident, really egotistical, quite dominating in situations or conversations. It's this idea that we have got control of everything. It's very much the I am the creator of my reality. Now, this is where a lot of people come into their awakening journeys, this realization of, wow, I am a powerful creator. But when the solar plexus is too overactive, so it's got too much energy running through it, people can have the mindset that I am the creator of everything. Everything revolves around me, rather than viewing things through the perspective of I am a co-creator with source consciousness. Overactive solar plexus looks like I am the creator of everything. Everything revolves around me. And when the solar plexus is nice and balanced, we can live and speak our truth. We're confident in who we are. We've got strong willpower, strong sense of self. We know what our purpose is. We know where we fit into the world. We are able to take aligned action to bring our ideas through, and we're aware of the ego, but the ego isn't running the show. So the lower three chakras are where we tend to store the majority of our energetic stagnation. The lower three are linked to our physical and material world, and as we move higher up the chakras, they are linked to the higher spiritual realms. And if you think about when we have any emotions that arise within us, if we push them down physically, we are just pushing that energy down to be stored in one of the lower three chakras. So it's really important, in my view, when you're working with the energy body, that you're working from the root up and you're really clearing what is in these lower three chakras before you start moving up into the higher chakras. And if you're somebody that's been working with your energy body for a while, this is why you might find that you are constantly circling back to the lower chakras, because we need to always be checking in to see what's going on, see if we're holding on to any energetic stagnation, because it's about viewing the system as a whole, working together as a whole. So it's not a case of, oh, I've done my root chakra work and I don't need to do any more root chakra work now. We're always going to be revisiting it, clearing it out, making sure that we're nice and balanced and we're in flow. So next then we have the heart chakra, which is located in the center of the chest. This is associated with the color green and it has a feminine energy. And the heart chakra is all about having unconditional love for the self and for others. If you've heard the phrase Christ consciousness, this is what it refers to. It refers to living from a state of unconditional love for yourself and for other people, which is a very difficult thing to do. So the main energy that creates an imbalance within the heart chakra is grief. And when the heart chakra is underactive, we have a lack of self-love, a lack of self-worth, we lack healthy boundaries. We might feel quite lonely, quite isolated and withdrawn, and have a feeling that we are too much. So when the heart chakra is overactive and it has too much energy running through it, it tends to be a little bit too open. And this is where we can shift into over giving to others, so giving too much to others at the detriment of ourselves. So again, it's showing up as a lack of healthy boundaries because we give too much to other people. We can end up taking on the emotional and energetic weight of others at the detriment to ourselves, and this is particularly common if you are an empath, that your heart chakra is overactive, too open, and you are taking on too much from others. When it comes to the idea of empathy, What I would always advise is shifting from empathy to compassion, because when we are in empathy, we are taking on other people's emotions. We are deeply feeling what they are feeling. We are carrying it and sometimes transmuting that energy for them. Whereas when you shift from empathy to compassion, when we are in compassion for somebody, we can still hold that space for them, but there is a clear boundary between what is ours and what is theirs. So we still hold space for them, we can still feel that compassion, we can still send them love, but there is a very, very clear energetic boundary between what is ours and what is theirs, and we don't take on emotional baggage and weight that does not belong to us. And if you are somebody who is an empath and your whole life has experienced this real, heavy feeling of taking on stuff from others, shifting into compassion is going to feel like you're being quite mean. You're not being mean to somebody, you're just having strong boundaries. You're not doing anyone any favours by carrying their energetic weight and transmuting their emotions for them, because that is just going to create a karmic debt between you and that person. So you're not doing anyone any favours by taking on their emotions. So if you can try and switch from empathy to compassion, that will really help you balance the energies within the heart chakra. So when the heart chakra is nice and balanced, we have love for ourselves, we have self-worth, we have this sense of inner peace and calm despite what's going on in the world around us. And physically, the heart chakra is connected to the heart, the shoulders, upper back, everything really within this area. So any energetic stagnation and imbalances can manifest as physical issues in this area. Then we have the throat chakra, which is located in the throat. It is associated with the colour blue. It has a masculine energy. The throat chakra connects to how freely and openly we are able to communicate ourselves, originally, authentically communicate our wants and our needs. It's also connected to our ability to listen to others. Physically, it is connected to the throat, the vocal cords, teeth, mouth, jaw, ears, ENT tract. So any energetic stagnation can cause physical issues in these areas. So when the throat chakra is underactive and it doesn't have sufficient energy running through it, it can look like us being very shy, not able to speak up for ourselves, to set boundaries or communicate our wants and needs. We may allow others to dominate and talk over us and struggle to articulate ourselves clearly. So when the throat chakra is overactive and it's got too much energy running through it, it can look like being overly talkative, sharing too much, being quite dominating, talking over others. It can also show up as gossiping or not speaking in a nice way about other people, using harsh words, and it's essentially using the gift of communication in a more negative way. So all these examples that I'm providing are extreme ends of the spectrum, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you can have an overactive and underactive chakra at the same time. And it's really important that when you do this work, you do this inner reflection, and you're honestly looking at what is going on in the chakras. It's not about judging yourself. So if you find that you're resonating with having an overactive throat chakra or an underactive throat chakra, the point of this is just to provide you with information so you can start to observe what is going on in your energy body. It's really important that you don't slip into judgment of yourself if you find that you are resonating with any one of these. It's about becoming aware of the imbalances, because once we are aware of it, we can correct it and restore balance and flow to our life force, to our chakra system. So when the throat chakra is nice and balanced, we are able to clearly communicate, we can articulate, we can express ourselves authentically, originally. We're able to set healthy boundaries, clearly communicate our wants and needs, and we are good at actively listening. So as I mentioned earlier, all of the chakras are working together, and fear and ego are two of the biggest things that cause imbalances in the throat chakra. So the fear is connected to the root chakra. Fear is the shadow of the root chakra. Ego is the shadow of the solar plexus chakra. So it may be that when you're working on the throat chakra and things are coming up and you hit in either fear or ego, you need to come back to the root or the solar plexus to see what's going on. And this is how they're all working together as one big system. We might want to look at them individually, but there is going to be an overlap, especially in the chakras that are paired together. Generally, as we move up through the higher chakras, there tends to be less energetic stagnation. Most of the energetic stagnation is stored in the lower three chakras, and this is why it's important to always be coming back to those lower three to check what's going on. So then we come to the third eye chakra, which is in the middle of the forehead. It has a feminine energy and it's associated with the colour purple and is connected to our ability to see beyond the physical world into the spiritual realms. And this is where we start to connect with our gifts and abilities. It is the energy centre that forms the bridge between the physical world and the spiritual world. The third eye is associated with our intuition, our imagination, our psychic senses. Most commonly it is associated with clairvoyance, so the ability to see visions, images, symbols in the mind's eye. And working with the third eye chakra, we can begin to access higher levels of consciousness, divine wisdom and divine guidance. Third eye chakra is very popular in the spiritual community because this is the chakra that everybody wants to open as soon as they start exploring their spiritual side. But this is why I say that it starts at the root chakra, because in order to be able to access the energies of the third eye and reach up high into those spiritual realms, we need that strong grounding in our root chakra. Physically, any imbalances in the third eye can manifest as any issues with the head, brain and the eyes. And the third eye is overactive and we've got too much energy running through it, we can have mental fog, lack of focus, we might have an overly active imagination and almost be too connected into the spiritual world and disconnected from the physical world, and on the extreme end can experience spiritual psychosis. When the third eye is underactive, we might feel very disconnected from our spiritual side, closed off to any new ideas, unable to see the bigger picture point of view, is very much can only see the 3D world and don't believe that there's anything beyond it. So when the third eye is nice and balanced, we are able to see beyond the physical world, but we are still very much grounded in and connected to our reality. We are connected to our intuition and we're able to pick up on energies from people and environment and tune in to when things don't feel quite right. We are able to make decisions and we are connected to our psychic senses. So finally, we have the crown chakra, which is located at the top of our head. It is associated with the colour white or like a pink colour, depending on how you see it. I see it as a white light at the crown, and it differs to the other chakras in the way that it doesn't have a masculine or feminine energy, but it is where all the energies of the lower sixth chakra are merged at the crown and then form our connection to cosmic energy. So the crown chakra receives information from the spiritual realm and distributes that information and energy to the remaining 6 chakras. When the lower 6 chakras are nice and balanced, we have easier access to that energy within the crown chakra. So the crown chakra is associated with bliss, oneness, and that connection to our spiritual side and our spirit guides and that divine consciousness energy. When the crown chakra is underactive, we feel very disconnected from our spiritual side, disconnected from higher levels of consciousness, disconnected from the higher self, don't have an understanding of that bigger picture perspective or the reason for our existence. If the crown chakra is overactive, we might be very dogmatic in our views, very judgmental, very ungrounded. We can almost become spiritually obsessed and have an obsession with the spiritual world and be completely disconnected from the physical world. And again, on the extreme end, too much energy running through the crown can result in spiritual psychosis. And again, I'm like a broken record. This is why having a strong grounded to that root chakra is essential if you want to work up in the higher frequency. So yeah, it can look like a disconnection from the physical body, from our physical needs. We can really neglect the physical body, reject the physical body, and just be so disconnected from the real world. So when the crown chakra is nice and balanced, we feel a strong connection to source consciousness and our higher self. We experience feelings of bliss and oneness. We are constantly in that state, but we are able to tap into it and feel that connection of bliss and oneness. And we feel a sense of peace, balance and connection to the higher self. So that is the overview of the 7 main chakras and what it looks like when they're overactive and underactive. I hope you found this helpful in helping you to understand and work with your energy body a little bit more. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon for another video.